Do. Right. Let's get an invite sent out to you, degenerates. I love the smell of white spirit. Let's pop that one there. And that one there. And I need a bit of cardboard. That'll do. Oops. Bumpy, bumpy, bump. Come on. And we shall use this one. Good evening. How many am I collecting? Too many. I have 12 heresy armies, 2 Badab war armies, and plans for the rest of the legions I'm missing. So never enough is probably the answer. I even have duplicates. I have 2 Ultramarines, different Ultramarines armies. I'm planning a second Imperial Fists army. I'm planning a second Thousand Suns and White Scars army. Because I intend to base them in different conflicts, so they'll be based differently, and I'll be painting them in different methods, so they won't fit together as one one force. So yeah, new armies all the time. So yeah, the answer is always too many. Still not strong enough, is it? Oh, you want... the worst part is that that's all been in the last, I think, 4 years. Since about, I don't know, 8th edition came out. Hey Gazira, how you doing, buddy? I've been collecting for a long time, but all of these armies are new. New armies in the last, say, 4 years or so. See if we can keep this in frame and in focus. Yeah, Badab's good. Badab's got a good community behind it. It's obviously not as big as the Heresy, but it's close. Yeah, I think the Badab conflict is a good one. It's definitely one I'd like to see some novels for, even if it's a limited series. Any specific goals for this year for the hobby? So the big one is to rearrange my display setup. I've kind of run out of display space. So my housemate should be moving out at some point this year. That's the plan. So I'll be able to move stuff back into my living room, which is where he lives. So I plan on getting, much more storage space, much more display space. So that's really my big goal for my hobby this year. On top of that is to finish all the work in progress stuff I've got at the moment. And then, start something new. It all really depends on what GW releases. Because if GW releases like a plastic Proteus land speeder, for example, I'll probably start my Death Guard, my Siege of Terra Death Guard army, because it's a 500 point army that needs a Proteus land speeder, and I don't want to get a Proteus land speeder in resin if a plastic one's coming. If they release plastic like Storm Eagles, I'll do my second Imperial Fist army. But yeah, basically finish what I've started. Finish my Prospero board is a big one. Yeah. Definitely want to finish the Prospero board at some point soon. Hey, Go For It Painting, how you doing? Happy New Year. That should be about it. As they say, and now we wait. Give that a little while to dry, and I'll get on with some other stuff. Hey Curtis, how you doing? Always good to see you, buddy. I haven't got any discipline at all to complete the goal. It'll be out the window in 2 weeks' time, don't worry. Spooky, would you do a solo auxilia army when they get revealed as the mystery army? I'm not entirely sure. I've heard rumours that there's going to be a battalion box for them. If I was going to do an army of them, then a battalion box would be the way I'd go into it. But as is, I've got enough money put aside for hobby stuff that I can basically get either the Old World box set or whatever, you know, this Mystery Army box set is. So it all really depends on whichever one of these gets released first. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it would be good to do something that's not Marines for a little while, but I don't know. What's going on with this? What the fuck? There's something all over the end of the barrel on this. Oh, it's salt. Oh, that's weird. For those of you who haven't noticed, I've got a really gnarly infected finger at the moment, so I've been soaking it in salt water, and yeah, I've just realised there's loads of like spilt salt water all over my desk. Nah. Get rid of that. For those of you that watched the video with the inks, as you can see, I went over the other Marines using my normal method for painting green, or Sons of Horus green, and it works fine. In fact, it's easier than my current one. It covers better than Cabalite green. So yeah, it's brilliant. I'll be shifting over to using the green ink probably exclusively, so I'm going to have to go buy a couple more bottles just in case. Lance it? I'm not going to lance it. It's been more than enough grossness already. No, it's getting better. It's nearly finished. It was really bad. It was all split down the side. But it's definitely on the way out and you know, getting better now. I've just got really sick and just run down at the end of the year. So yeah, it was really gross. I got the throat infection. My foot started playing up, so I couldn't walk properly, which was really great because that was right before the funeral I went to. So I'd been asked to be a what are they called? Coffin bearer, pall bearer. That's the word I'm looking for. And I couldn't do it because I was walking with this horrendous limp. So yeah. Ooh, actually, that's good. That helps with another video I want to do, which is working with metal models for the upcoming The Old World, because I haven't got any Old World models really other than this young lady, who's very yellow, and she's a one-piece model. But I wanted to do a video on working with metal models and how they're different to plastic, so that's a good find. I'll need to find this jetpack somewhere. Need to get this guy primed or base coated in silver, because once he's in silver I'm going to do a nice dark metallic themed word bearer scheme on him. Goodness, so on that one, yeah, there's just a regular guy. You can see how that's come out. It's really nice and smooth. I think these inks are fantastic. So if you're in the UK, definitely give them a look out. So you bought into the Solar Auxilia a week before the reveal. Well, it's not too bad. You can probably still sell them if you get them up on like the Facebook Marketplace. You could get them sold pretty quickly, and you know, for pretty much spot on retail. So you won't lose too much money at all if you did that. Thanks, Curtis. Yeah, like I said, I've been recovering constantly for the last like 4 or 5 weeks. Got some cool 3D prints. Nice, nice. I did see some really nice 3D printed Bretonians, but I can't remember what the company that made them was called. I'll try and find it at some point. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the new Foot Knights. I don't think they look particularly great. Although I think I have finally settled on a theme for the Bretonian army I want to do. On the latest article there was some what they call heraldry, and one of the Bretonian heraldries was blue with a tri-pronged trident. So I'm thinking I'll do like a nautical, seafaring like based Bretonian army. Lots of blues and sort of silvers and golds. And I'll try and maybe do one of my heroes with like a two-handed trident spear jobby. I think that would look kind of cool. Maybe raid the Age of Sigmar elf, what they called, Deep King range for bits. Could probably use some of the weird and wonderful bits from that as banner toppers, you know, like the crab and stuff. Yeah. They've announced the base sizes for a lot of the models, and the one that's got me interested is that they've mentioned a griffin for the high elves, but the high elves don't have a separate griffin model as far as I know. They only had the one that was in the Isle of Blood kit, and I don't think that was ever released on its own. It might have been. It's been a long time since any of it was available. So if it is, that could indicate that they're going to release that as a standalone model. That or a 25-year-old Eltharion model's about to get re-released. Which I wouldn't have a problem with, because that's a great mini. There's the one with the black shins. There he is. So yeah. So how was everyone's Christmas? Did you guys get what you were after? Any decent hobby stuff? Did you get any time for any hobbying? Because I know that's always a struggle for most people. It's one thing I always get about the Bolter and Chainsaws website is they do a big Boxing Day bash where people can like get together and build their models that they got for Christmas together. And I'm like, who's got time on Boxing Day for that? I'm fending off relatives and being ordered around to hand out plates of, you know, sausage rolls to kids. I'll be honest, my Christmas was a bit shit this year. Just didn't feel Christmassy, and everyone was a bit hostile to each other, and oops. It was just a bit meh. You got Perturabo for your birthmas. Nice one, Gojira. I mean, it's nice that someone got you a Primarch. They couldn't have got you a better Primarch, but I'm just kidding. It's a really nice model. It's one of the ones I do want to get, because I want to do him with all the Domitar robots as an army at some point. Because after all this time, I still don't own a Primarch model. You got a 3D printed bolt pistol in a shoebox. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I've been looking at new 3D printers as well, because my old man's been asking me about printing stuff for him, and I think maybe it'll be time just to get a new printer and get back onto that old horse. And they're not too expensive nowadays, especially if I can spread the cost over using the old PayPal Pay in 3, which is a bit dangerous, but you know, YOLO. Ooh, that was close. Got some Song of Ice and Fire stuff, but I didn't want to ask anyone for Warhammer just because I'd rather wait to see how much the Solar Auxilia stuff is. I spent most of Christmas Day watching only Fools and Horses. That's pretty cool. Jerry got 17 minis painted over December. That's not bad. That's not bad. I can't remember the last minute dry actually finished. I think it might have been that Raven Guard tank destroyer. Pretty sure it was. Unfortunately, I keep getting myself into a point where I'm like picking at models. It's just like I'll keep going back and do this, I'll do this, I'll do this, and it's just I keep finding more and more bits to do, and it's just a bit annoying. I need to just put my foot down and go, this is done now. Which I did find an extra Mark 6 Marine that I was in need for, so that's 1 down and 3 to go for the next Night Lord. So yeah, once that's done, that'll be another squad finished. Yeah, I still need to dig out another couple, and I should probably get this Sons of Horus squad that this test mini was from, get the rest of them put together and all done. Apoth, I'm working on a Cestus Assault Ram and can't find the base plate. Oh Lord help. That's a ripperoonie from me. That is definitely one of the models I want for my second Fists army. It was 2 big squads of Templar Brethren in Storm Eagles, Sigismund with a full-sized command squad in a Storm Eagle, a Fire Raptor gunship, a Cestus Assault Ram with 8 Indomitus Terminators inside it, and then apothecaries smattered around, and it's like 3,000 points, and it's just the most ridiculous like Templars army I could put together. I was about to get all my Iron Warrior infantry base. I like your Iron Warriors, they're really good. Now I've just got to wait until it warms back up so I can apply transfers and sealant. Nice. Painting up salamanders. I've got my last Salamander's Apothecary. I just need to put the green on. And that would be those 3 done. I say done. The second one still needs finishing because he's still not done. I think it's really just his base that needs finishing. So I might just get on and do that at some point. Yeah. The other thing I need is some bright silver. I'm missing a really bright, like mithril silver kind of colour at the moment. I don't think Ruinfang Steel is going to be bright enough. I'll give it a go anyway. Oh Lord, that's a party bus parade. Oh yes, yeah, it's basically during the siege, Sigismund's been told by Rogel Dawn, it's like, look, the leash is off, go out and do your thing. So it's them. It's supposed to be like the whole knight sallying forth out of the castle to attack the enemy. You know, just hopping over the walls, engaging the enemy like artillery or whatever, and then getting out of dodge. I was trying to figure out how to get a dreadnought in there, but there's no flyers that can carry a dreadnought as far as I'm aware, apart from like a thunderhawk or a stormbird. All this talk about getting a new printer and new models. When you going to get a new... My chair is relatively new, alright? My chair is like 2 years old. I just need to tighten all the bolts in it and lose like £300. And in my defence, I didn't put it together, my little sister did. I can't remember why they put it together. I think I might have been sick at that point again. I'm a very sickly child. Even if I am 36. Actually, no, this might be bright enough for what I'm after. It just doesn't cover very well. But yeah, one of my plans is to move from this desk to the workbench behind me for filming videos. And when I sit at that workbench, I have a stool, a wooden stool I sit on. It just is, it needs the edges sanding down because at the moment it's a little uncomfortable to sit on for long periods of time. And the plan will be, once I've sanded down the front of it, so it doesn't give me fucking pins and needles in my balls, any live streams and stuff will be filmed there instead, so there won't be any noise. Curtis, yeah, I've been wanting to convert the cities of Sigmar Hippogriff for Bretonnians. As for the holidays, folks really insisted on getting something for me. We're going halvesies on the Bretonnian box. That's cool. That's the exact same thing I want to do, is I want to use that Cities of Sigmar Hippogriff. I think that would look really cool. And it would... there's supposed to be like an evil creature. In Bretonnian lore, hippogriffs are always seen as evil, and very few knights could ever tame them, which is kind of cool as well on its own, as its own bit of fluff. But I might see if I can get him on that giant, like, what's it called, sea fucking horse thing. Oh shit, manticore, sorry, not hippogriff. Yeah, I want to see if I can get a lord on the mount that's on the weird like seahorse thing for the Deepkin leader, because I think that could be kind of cool. Yeah, as long as it's got some sort of wings and it's about the same size. I'm hoping the 3D print community takes to the old world as much as they did to the Heresy, if I'm going to be honest. Because there's a lot of stuff that I'm not a big fan of in the models, and like a lot of the helmets, for example, on the Bretonnians, I don't like. Where did I get the las cannons? These are just the standard plastic las cannons from the heavy support weapons kit, and I've just stuck bayonets on from the Mark 6 kit. isn't behaving. Got to get the Manticore to go with the Cities Sigma force I have. I should really finish building my Macarius before buying another centerpiece model. Yep. I think the Macarius is one of the ones that is rumoured to be coming out in plastic soon. Not with the Solar Auxilia, but instead with the plastic Krieg release that's coming later this year. Yeah, so I need to get one of those vortex mixers. Right, let's try that. Yeah, I also plan on getting a load more paints this year, doing more reviews on paint ranges. What else am I going to do? Working with metal models is planned. I've been asked to do another video on chipping, so I'll do that. Probably won't just be on chipping itself, it will probably be on weathering in general. And I've got that Cerberus to paint and build. Well, build and then paint, sorry. Which you guys voted on and said would be Night Lords. So that needs to get done at some point. I have got a Sikaran. Which I haven't decided where that's going, so that'll probably go up for another vote. And you guys can pick which army gets that. Be a real pig and start a World Eaters tank force. I do not like these GW silvers. Ugh. Get that. Get some of this. Let's see if this helps. Off after this as well. Keep a good soak in some hot water. If that's true, I'll probably cry and buy another. Yeah, that isn't that just the way though. You know. It's a little smoother, but it's not covering as well, so I might have to do 2 or 3 coats though. Oh yeah, there's going to be a load of coats. I was very disappointed to see yet another Legion Imperialis Heresy Thursday, and I'll be honest, it's a bit of a kick in the teeth. With just, it really does feel like, hey, we've taken away Titan warfare by getting rid of Adeptus Titanicus, and now, hey, do you want to play Titan battles and the biggest Titan battle of them all, Beta Garmin? Here's a book on it. And it's just, yeah, just classic GW being GW. Take it away and give it back to you for twice the price. Wonder if we're going to get Mordheim back as well. That would be an interesting one. Mordheim was a great game. There was an interview with, I can't remember if it was Jess Goodwin or Andy Hall, but one of those two was talking about a redo of Space Hog, and that was around about halfway through 8th edition, if I remember correctly, with new Terminators. So if they were talking about that then, that could be a good release for the next couple of years with our new Terminator kits. Not seen anyone play Legions Imperialis locally. Anecdotal, I know, but still. No, I mean, that is... You do have to be careful. You know, you can't just generalise, but yeah, I've not heard many people playing it around here. However, like on the Bolter and Chainsword, they're currently holding a vote for like their mid-year big event, like hobby event. And Legion Imperialis is beating the pants off full-sized Heresy for an event, like a painting and modelling event. I'm sure there are people playing it, I'm sure there's people who absolutely love it, and I don't hold it against them. If they want to play that game, go for it. You know, it's like Blood Bowl players. I'll never have a problem with Blood Bowl players, but I've got no interest in playing it myself. But Blood Bowl doesn't take away from the game I do want to play, or collect, before Spill has an aneurysm without me saying I don't play. I mean, I got no problem with that. I would have preferred Epic or LI if it had been set in a different conflict. It didn't need to be the Heresy. You know, I know Heresy's safe and everything because we get to reuse all one load of kits basically for both sides, which is the whole reason that the Heresy existed. That the whole reason the Horus Heresy was written in as fluff was to justify why the Adeptus Titanicus box had the same models on both sides. Which is fine, you know, but it's stepping on the toes of 30k, I did notice some people today on the BNC were getting really pissy about 30k because they feel like it's taking away from 40k, and there's too much marine stuff out there now, and that's from marine collectors. So that's fine. It's one of my big problems with people who keep calling for like Heresy to move to like the 8th or 9th edition rule set. You do that and we lose it, because someone will ask why we have 2 separate games. The only thing about LI that interests me is the LI bashing guy. Yes. Yeah, he did a really good job with his like Eidolon conversion. And what kind of... I don't want to say it bugged me, because it didn't bug me. He had to like really stipulate that it wasn't 3D printed. And it's a bit sad that we've got to a point where, yeah, you kind of have to say that now. Because converting's getting a bit easier. You know, so if someone is showing off some genuine skill, they have to kind of tell you they're doing it. Didn't realise I hadn't done the barrel on this one. Hi Will, is that Sons of Horus? Yes it is. This is most definitely my Sons of Horus. Or some of them at least. This year I want to do Death Guard, World Eaters, some more Emperor's Children, at the bare minimum. Quite happy to leave my Imperial Fists where they are. They don't need expanding really. My Sons of Horus will really just get, you know, what's already planned for them. Alpha Legion's the other one I want to do. It's the whole reason I bought all that Mark III stuff. Thousand Suns has got some expansion coming to it. I've got a Land Raider, a spare Land Raider that I'm not entirely sure what I want to use. One of them's definitely going Night Lords, I know that. But I've got this other one, which I don't know if it should go to my Thousand Suns or someone else. And yeah, I'll probably put that one up for a vote as well. People saying Horus Heresy is taken away from 10th need to advocate for better rules systems, not get jealous. Yes, Curtis, you're absolutely correct. Spooky, shame the main ideas I'd have for an LI force aren't possible without 3D printing. I'd love a Blood Angels force with the centerpiece being Sanguinius destroying a Warlord Titan. That would be incredibly based. Will's Archive. I'm focusing on 40k Night Lords and Dark Angels this year. I'm actually working on Night Lords now. Got to get 500 points done by the end of January for an escalation league I'm in. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm doing my Night Lords, you know, they are expanding. And I've got the rest of them just put aside out of the way at the moment. But yeah, I've got that command squad to finish. The 2 other veteran squads to finish. A Land Raider, a Cerberus, and the Deirdreo to finish. I'll be honest, I'm probably going to end up buying a Leviathan for them as well, because it's the only Dreadnought I haven't got for them. But I don't know at what point I'll do that. hoping we get another big battalion box near the end of the year with another armour mark. You know, like Mark 5 or Mark 2. Mark 4. So if that happens, I will probably get one of those as well. Or, you know me, at least 2. Here's tragedy of all tragedies. I got told cheekily that I was getting one of those Mark 3 battalion boxes for Christmas, and then it never materialised. My little heart was broken. Sorry, I try and keep my gammy finger out of the camera as well. You guys don't want to look at that. Yeah, I bought myself some new brushes just after Christmas as well. Just some more of these ones. If you guys are looking for cheap brushes, these Pro Art ones from ABC Brushes. They are $5.99 for 5 or 6 brushes. And you can either get them in a set of random or different ones, or you can buy 5 of them as one size, which is what I do. Yeah, the other set for my dad. Hello Bando, did you see the Warhammer Plus Old World Bat Rep? From what I saw, the Old World might be okay. I don't have Warhammer Plus. I won't be giving Games Workshop any money like that. I actually cancelled my Amazon Prime subscription as well this week. Congratulations Amazon. You want to squeeze an extra £2.99 or whatever it was out of people so they don't have to watch ads. You've just lost out on my entire subscription. No, I might watch it. I'm not a big fan of watching battle reports, unless they're really cinematic and narrative. I do kind of miss reading them in White Dwarf as a kid, though. But I'm sure if I read them again, I'd just be bored out of my mind. I did find the video where they had the lady narrating it on what Warhammer Fantasy is, and she's like, "This is a rank and flank game," and I was like, Games Workshop's never called it that before in the history of forever. That was always a third-party kind of wargaming term. People who have never played it will not know what that means. Worried about the prices for things because they do look a bit high. If I remember correctly, they said that the box sets of infantry and stuff are now going to be boxed as the maximum unit size, which is okay, but still that's not great. That £50 for those new foot knights is just too much. And I am aware, yes, £50 for 20 Space Marines is what we pay at the moment. That's still too much. I can send it to you if you want to watch Centurion for download. I think I've got the link in the channel, buddy. But thank you very much for sending it to me, offering. So the advent of the old world was to talk down the game mechanics rather than the world setting and fantasy themes. Good grief, GW steps on their toes. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, they should have done a classic kind of a tale of four gamers almost before this week. You know, they should have shown during, like, how I would have handled it is if we're doing articles to show the different parts of the game, I would have done a tale of four gamers with the studio and gone, each one's making a different army. You know, let's say Tomb Kings, Bretonians, Orcs and Goblins, and Empire. It's nice and simple. And just shown, oh, we're talking about the strategy phase in this video. So, you know, each person's got to get something for their army that's usable in the strategy phase. So, you know, the first guy's like, oh, I've got myself this, I picked up this damsel on horseback from Forge World. And just like, this is how I've painted it. This is the fluff for, you know, the Duke's Kingdom I want to use. Here, you know, here's the colour scheme I'm going for. Here's how I'm making it work for a model that's not a knight. That sort of thing. Rather than just doing a one-page, really kind of bland and boring, like, this is the strategy phase, this is the movement phase, this is the shooting phase. I don't know, it just feels like a lot of Warcom stuff is really low effort nowadays. And I get they probably haven't got the budget to do anything because, you know, the fucking, what they call, shareholders are probably like, nope, absolutely not, it's a worthless expense. When in reality it should be marketing should be one of your biggest expenses because it's reaching the most people. You know, get people out there and talking about it, sharing the articles. And I know that the whole, like, me criticising the studio paint jobs when they post them has not been popular, but at the end of the day, you're marketing a new product, you want the best quality out there, and then some people will say, oh, it's so that they appear like doable for other people so they can achieve them. Newsflash, kids can't achieve even your crappy paint jobs half the time. You want to do a beginner's paint thing to help people who can't paint very well, do beginner's paint, you know, streams, do videos, get Duncan back and get him to do some really basic beginner stuff. But you should be doing stuff that really blows people's minds, you know. Get that guy, you know, when the Tyranids were coming out, get that guy who does the horseshoe crab themed Tyranids to do like a video on how he paints his, and you know, get videos on how someone does non-metallic metals when painting, I don't know, striking scorpions. How to do zenithal highlighting. Just, yeah, it just feels so corporate, and we absolutely can't ever let slip that there is a bigger hobby out here, in case they accidentally get exposed to a competitor. And it's like, just fucking deal with it. Like, the best way to stop people going to third-party retailers, to stop people going to third-party bits manufacturers, is provide a service and a product that they want at a price that they deem fair. You know? I wouldn't have to 3D print Mark V helmets for my Marines if Mark V helmets were easily available. Hormagaunts, Termagaunts, Guardsmen, Orc Boys, Space Marines have beginner friendly painted. They might do. I mean, like I said, I don't spend a lot of time on the Warcom site anymore because I just don't get on with it. But what I mean is, like, these kill team videos they do, or articles when they're showing off these new models coming out. You know, here's, like, they did it recently with the Knights on Foot. Here's the Knights on Foot painted by our studio team. Painted by the studio team should be the best. Like, here's painted by the community. Here's the studio team. You know, even if you have to go and pay someone to paint them for you. Yeah, get Vince, is it Ventura? Sam Lanes, Injon, whoever you want, and just get them to really push the envelope out there. Like, get Golden Demon winners to paint these models. Give them plenty of time, give them 6 months or whatever, and just say, hey, here's the model. Just paint it up to the absolute best of your ability. And they'll probably ask for payment, offer to pay them, and that should be your marketing stuff. Like, here's 2008 Golden Demon winner, you know, Hon Hector de la Foreigner, because it's usually a Spanish or a French guy that wins. And here's his take on the striking scorpions, and, you know, really show off. I don't need to see, you know, Kev, the manager at the Reading stores, take out on models. You know, if I want to see that, I'll go down to my local store and see what they're painting in the cabinet. Which for a while was great, because in my local store we actually had a Golden Demon gold winner, so we had some really fantastic models in the store windows. No, I just think the whole, like, oh, it's done to be achievable for other people, it's such a cop-out. So they have a studio team. The studio team's made up of multiple parts. You've got, like, the army painting team who do the majority of the work. They do, like, the big bulk armies. They do stuff for displays, you know, like the museum stuff. And then you've got, like, the heavy metal team who do the box art stuff, basically. I mean, they cross over a lot, you know, they help each other out, but yeah, they really should be, like, they're just the top end. You know, this hobby used to have people like Mike McVeigh in it who were just painting gods. Like, no one had painted as well as these kids did. And then GW was getting... I mean, you look at miniatures back in the 80s, which is way before the time for most of you guys. But you look at the models from the competition, even all the way through the 90s and stuff. You look at Urban Mammoth, like their Void stuff. You look at Ralpatha, that sort of thing. The painting quality was nowhere close to GW's. The only people who really did was people like Rackham. And that's because they were hiring out to, like, Spanish and French Golden Demon winners to do their box art, like, pictures. The worst part about this is I'm going to have to go back and tidy up all the black when I'm finished. Hey Corwin, it's good to see you again, mate. It's been clear for years now that current GW staff see the miniatures as products, not inspiring settings that the miniatures and rules help you explore. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it used to be that the GW studio team and the staff were people you looked up to. they were gods among men. But like, I remember the kids in my store just being in awe at like the painting ability of the staff members, and it was well deserved, because the guys that were hired to work there, they painted amazingly, and more importantly, they could teach to paint amazingly. I remember one of my colleagues, Rich, he had a whole, this is back sort of early 2000s, he had an Imperial Guard army that was every single Cadian. It was just after the plastic Cadians came out. He'd converted with green stuff, and he'd sculpted them into being clone troopers from Attack of the Clones, which had just come out. And he had little Jedi and everything in his army, and it looked phenomenal. Every time he sat down at the painting desk when he was on shift, after he'd done any work that needed doing, he went out to the freezer out back, which is where he kept his green stuff, took his green stuff out and started sculpting on, and people would just sit there and watch him sculpting for hours. He was great. It was a good time. Although one of the funniest memories I have from being in a local GW was I was about 11 years old, and one of the locals there was telling a story on a veterans night, and he was talking about how he stuck his arm up his arsehole and got all the way to his elbow and had to stop there because he wasn't flexible enough to get it any further, in front of like 5 or 6 like 10 and 11-year-olds. He was talking to all the other guys, and incidentally I ended up working with one of the older guys who was there later on, and yeah, the stories he told me about that guy. I don't think he even he hadn't even clocked on the fact that there were a bunch of kids in front of him, and he was just talking to all the 20-something-year-olds that were there. But like the catalogue in Games Workshop, little free booklet you got, the guys in the cabinet. So where I live, the Games Workshop is down a little alleyway, and it's always really funny because back in the day, parents used to rush their kids through this alleyway, not because the alleyway was dangerous, but because they were desperate to get their kids past Games Workshop without seeing the models in the window. I literally stood in the doorway having a cup of coffee and seen a mother go, don't look at it, we can't afford it, and just chuckling to myself. But yeah, like I'd always stop by and look what was in the cabinet, see if there was anything new, and it was great. I was just broke all the time, so I could never afford any of it. But I am looking forward to the old world. I'm really torn between picking up some Bretonians now, or saving my money and waiting for the High Elves to come out. Because I love the High Elves. The High Elves are like one of my favourite armies of all time. Matthew says that the models in the display at my local GW the reason I even got into the hobby. Yeah, I remember once I was working there, and some guy's mum came in. Do you sell Xboxes or something? Do you sell video games? We got that a lot. Unfortunately, no, we don't. Is this for your, for your son? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Well, have you thought about, maybe looking at Warhammer for your kids' hobby rather than, Xboxes? You know how violent those video games are, and sitting inside all day in front of a TV is not really healthy for you, is it? And she's like, no, absolutely, I really, it's awful and they're so expensive. And I'm like, yeah, that's awful. Have you considered Warhammer 40,000? And I ended up selling this woman the, it wasn't Assault on Blackreach, I don't think. Yeah, it was. It was, Assault on Blackreach. The one with the orcs. Yeah, I ended up selling her a copy of Assault on Blackreach, like a full paint set, some extra Space Marines, and that ended up like with that kid coming in every Thursday for a couple of months for Veterans Night. The price on core units will be really to make or break for the old world. Yes, yeah, it will. $50 or $60 for basic infantry, there's no sense for my budget. Yeah, so you're looking at 50 quid for the new knights. Foot knights, at least. I don't know if the older sets are going to be cheaper. I would hope they are. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't end up selling them separately. Or at least not for some time. You know, you want extra knights? Go and buy another copy of the core box set. You can sell the books to your friends. But I don't know. I kind of want to wait for High Elves. But I also do like Bretonnians, but everyone's going to be doing Bretonnians. Which is ironic because they really weren't that popular in Army beforehand. Both Tomb Kings and Bretonnians were not hugely popular near the end of, was it 8th edition? Ooh, huzzah! If they re-release Blackreach, I don't think I'll be able to stop myself. I will. The orcs would be the only interesting part of Blackreach for me, and maybe one of the Dreadnought. That is something I definitely miss, is the Dreadnought, because when it came out, no one needed another Dreadnought. Every Space Marine player already had enough Dreadnoughts. You could pick those things up for a $5 on eBay. Which was fantastic. You're just like, oh look, I need another Dreadnought, £5. But none of us did, because we didn't need them, because we all had our Dreadnoughts. Oh well, hindsight is 20/20, as they say. The one, if they re-released anything, it's, for me, it's going to be Isle of Blood, is the one I'd want. But it's not worth, the obscene amount of money they'd ask for. I don't get who looked at the Battle from a Crag and went, yeah, 90 quid, that seems fair. Like, that's dumb. Oh no, is that peeling some paint off? It is. Whoops. Okay, that's no good. I've still got some of the Blackreach orcs. They were in a bits box I was going through last night. So yeah, the orcs are fine. They're a bit mono-posy, obviously, but They're absolutely fine model-wise. They're a bit small. Yeah. The helicopters, or whatever you call them, they were cool. And they were one of the only ways to get them for quite some time. Time's 8 o'clock, okay. I probably won't be going for much longer, guys. Gotta get some supper and then have an early night. That's about sorted. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Alright, I'm just going to mute the microphone for 2 seconds, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry, I didn't want to deafen you with a hairdryer. He'll get a couple of coats of varnish, and then I'll finish picking out the details, like the skulls and everything. The symbol on his shoulder pad, and then any weathering, blood effects, the base will get done. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Yeah. Giving all the dust flying off this Telemann, I'm starting to see why I had to wear a mask. Yeah, if you're working with resin and you're filing, sanding, drilling or anything, please wear a mask, even if it's one of those cheap dust masks. Resin fibres are not good. Think of it like asbestos. The only old thing GW could re-release that I'd actually want would be the 4th edition Tau Battle Force box. Fire Warriors, Kroot, Devilfish, Stealth Suits, Battle Suits, all for $100. That would be pretty cool. For me, I really want one more copy of the old Space Marine Start Collecting, the one that was like a tactical squad, a Venerable Dreadnought, and the Terminator Captain, because I want one more Venerable Dreadnought. Well, the Start Collecting set was £50, and the Venerable Dreadnought's like $38 on his own. And I really can't bring myself to buy that one model on its own anymore. I'm curious how expensive Plastisolar Auxilia will get, not because I'm interested in buying into them, more because I'm predicting that after the first wave of buyers, the market isn't really going to be big for them without introducing them into 40k. I would probably expect them to be similar in price to Marines. 20 men, box of 20, £50. If they're being really wild, and this would be a really, really slim chance they do this, it would be sold in platoons, and it would be anywhere from 30 to 50 guys in a box for like £50 or £60. I think that might be the best way of doing it, actually, is doing them in boxes of 30 at least. Just because of the sheer number of infantry you need. But also, it's GW, so I wouldn't be surprised for them to go, it's Imperial Guard, everyone uses tanks for their troops. Yeah, because your infantry's too fucking expensive. I'm predicting, I've done that one. The old battle forces were so much better value. They really were. So back in the day, there was you used to get army boxes, they were called. And this is like second edition. This is pre-third edition 40k. So I got the High Elves army box. Let me see if I can find a picture of it actually. Oh, can't spell. There's no O in elf. Aha! Open image in new tab. Oh, really? It's a 284 fucking pixel image. That's not good. Gonna show it. That's even smaller. It's 193 pixels. Come on. Yeah, so can't get a picture, but it contained one High Elf chariot, a unit of 5 Dragon Princes of Calador, Tyrion on Malahandria, the hero riding Pegasus, a unit of 10 Phoenix Guard, 6 sprues of spearmen and archers, which I think was like a unit of 10 of each in total, a repeater bolt thrower, a unit of 5 silver helms, and a unit of 10 sword masters of Hoth. And those were all metal apart from the spearmen and archers. Yeah, it was 60 miniatures in total, and at release in 1994 it was 12 archers and spearmen, sorry, 8 sword masters of Hoth and 10 Phoenix Guard. Yeah, it was about £100 in total. This is hands down one of my favourite High Elf models. Look at that fucking headdress. How awesome is that? I would kill for a modern sculpted version of that. Oh, I'd forgotten about this guy. I'd completely forgotten about this model. Oh, that was such a cool model. Yeah. And that's how we used to rock our core units. You used to the painting guide for these guys was like, paint all this just mithril silver, which is a really bright silver. And they used to sell an ink that was basically black ink, so no different than this stuff. Literally just black ink with a little bit of silver flecks in it. And it was called Armor Wash. And it was great because you just slop it on. Any armor, any like chainmail was done in seconds. Yeah. Good old Tyrion on Malahandria. This is one that desperately needs a new good model. Yeah, just brilliant models. And that box set, 60 models, was £100. All metal. Yeah, love it. Absolutely loved it. And that's one of the reasons I really want to get back into High Elves. What does this mean for future plastic Mechanicum? I reckon Mechanicum will get their day, don't worry. It would be smart to do Mechanicum in plastic because there's a lot of crossover with the marine armies. You know, the Vorax, the Domitars, the Castellax, Thanatars, Thalax. They can all be taken in a marine army, which means you've got a much bigger market there to use. Yeah, it was it would be smart to do them. Because, I mean, there's not much you need to do. You need to do... What would you need to do? All of those guys, all of the Mechanicum robots in plastic. A plastic Magos with, like, multiple parts. So you can build your Archmagos. And tech thralls. So plastic tech thralls. And that's it. You know, you do your big battle force, which would be like, say, 20 or 30 tech thralls, the Magos, a Castellan or Domitar or something like that, even a Thanatar, big centerpiece, you know, and then that's your battle force. You've basically got the same thing as the last Marine one, maybe a tank of some sort, but if you want to do their tanks in plastic. All GW has to do is make a box of 50 Solar Auxilia for £50. If they can make their infantry £1 a model, they would be cheaper than any other mainstream provider in mass infantry. If they can do that, they would be cheaper than they've ever been. Because back in my day when I started, you had the hybrid tactical squad, which was metal bodies with plastic arms. So it's plastic arms, plastic bolters. They didn't hold the bolter like this. The arm was literally flat, like the hand was flat like this. He was just... So it was very easy to convert him to have his arm like that and up, which was a very, very common conversion to see. That was £12, so you're already over a pound a model then. The new plastic tactical squad came out, and that was £12, £13 or something. So even that was more expensive, despite them telling us that moving to plastic was to save us all money. Yeah. But 50 models for £50 would be... I think that's too much. 30 I could see. Because, I mean, the Heresy stuff wasn't bad value. When it first came out, I think... Was it 40... Like 42, 45 pounds? Was actually not too bad. 18, 19 pounds for the character models. That was pretty good. Of course, we got a price hike within 3 months. But yeah, they were really good quality and good price then. We must return to chunks of metal, aka dragons and horses. I am really looking forward to whatever they do for the High Elf centerpiece model when they do their battalion box, because if it's a Pegasus, if it's a Griffin, or if it's a dragon, I can't wait, because I love High Elf dragons being those long, thin, almost snake-like dragons, and I really want a modern one in a really cool pose, and I can't wait. Sean, I'm pretty sure you can find armor wash like that. Let me see if... Gee. I think... Oh, no. I'm pretty sure what they're called. Coat d'Arms have it. Maybe not. They've still got Smelly Primer though. Smelly Primer was awful. Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, Coat d'Arms have it under Armour Wash or Ink Wash Armour. So, wash armour. D'Arms. Coat d'Arms paints are really interesting because they are very much like old paints, old GW paints. You really will learn to appreciate like modern GW's paints after you've painted with the old ones. There you go, armor, ink wash armor, and coat d'arms. That's what you want. Oh yeah, Bando, I do have the Isle of Blood Elves. Let me know if you want them. They might be a bit scuffed. Man, that'd be really great. That would be really cool. Drop me a message on Discord, mate, and we'll sort something out. I was looking at a PO box yesterday, because I've had a couple of people ask if they can send me stuff, and luckily with Samus Heideggen, he can't keep getting away with it. He was in the US, so he actually sent it to a mutual friend of mine who was coming over. So I didn't, because being on the internet, you don't want to give people your address. I haven't even shown my face. People have found me on Facebook and being like, going, "Oh, hi Bando," and I'm like, delete post. So it's not exactly a secret of who I am, but it's not something you really want to put out there, especially if you're someone like me who is not as quiet and goes along with the narrative as most people are. I'm quite happy to be out there shitposting on Twitter and winding up the oppressed groups. I'm quite happy to bully people who want female Space Marines. And they will go after you. They'll go after you hard. They'll find your job, they'll phone your family, and they'll make up all sorts of lies about you. So just sort of giving your address out on the internet is never a good idea. But yeah, any PO boxes in the UK, if I was getting stuff from you guys like weekly, it might be worth it. But yeah, the Royal Mail in the UK wants nearly £400 a year for a PO box, and then any alternative for like a mail forwarding thing where they just give you like a fake address that you send it to and it goes to them and then they post it to you. That's still the best part of £300, so it's a bit wild. Which is why I've not been like talking about that, or I've said thanks but no thanks a lot of the time to people who've offered to send me stuff. I'd love to, I don't think anyone would ever really want to turn away stuff from anyone, especially not for free. But yeah, it's just a little dangerous, as you'd say, to just kind of like accept people knowing your address. I believe actually, was it yourself, Speaky, I sent stuff to? I can't remember who it was. I think it was you. Yeah, I'd send stuff out to the competition winner, and the post office is like, "Oh yeah, we need your address to be on the package as well, and your name." And I was like, "Oh really?" But yeah, I'll do a face reveal and everything at some point. I'm sure I will. I can't, it can't just be a pair of hands forever. You've got to get out there. But I just need to build up enough rapport with you guys. I need you guys to build up enough of a resistance to me, because frankly I'm so charismatic and gorgeous that it would blind you when you saw me. I mean, I don't think you're ready for it, and frankly I don't think you're ready for this jelly. Nah, seriously. It'll happen. I think in my head I've always kind of penciled in 10,000 subscribers being when I would do that. Just as a kind of like, oh yeah, I should probably do that at some point. I demand Bando only be a pair of hands. It won't be breakfast with Hando anymore. Oh, you're going to get that. You're going to get like my face reveal, and it's literally just going to be this with a pair of googly eyes stuck on it. Oh, Curtis. Oh, we're friends. Oh. Curtis is a G though. Curtis has made regular donations to the channel. He's I can't say enough good things about Curtis and his fantastic Iron Warriors. yeah, I just want to, you know, I don't want to stick my face out there straight away. I don't want to be just another channel with a fat beardy guy. I did contact an artist about getting like my own version of Anya drawn up from my thumbnails, because obviously I can't keep using Anya from Spy Family X forever, and I'm looking at getting my own little anime gremlin character designed, but again, that's quite expensive, so I might end up doodling one myself. Curtis, goddamn you! Yeah, I got a donation on a video the other day, and it came through and it was like $21.44 or something, $21.60, and I was like, what? No one's given me 21 quid for a donation. That's insane. I've misread that. It's got to be like £20, like 16 or something, because I always get numbers mixed up when I look at them. And then I looked at it closer and realised it wasn't in GBP. It was in a different currency. And I looked up what the currency was, and it was, I think, Bulgarian something. I can't remember what it was. And he wants to hide that he's a monopose space marine in real life. He's onto me with my hand clamped around my gun. It slots into my stomach. I actually found one of those from the... I think it's from the McCrag set in a box yesterday. It's not in the best condition. I might paint it up. I might do that for a video. Yeah, so it was in Bulgarian Zen or whatever they use, and I looked at it and I looked at the conversion rate and I'm like, oh, it's 44p. Like, he's donated 44p to the channel. And like, oh no, he's donated 21 of these things. They're 44p each. And I was like, oh, he's giving me a tenner. That's great. And then he was like, oh, I'd like to see a video on chipping. I'm like, well, for a tenner, you're absolutely getting a video on chipping. So, yeah. That'll go out. I can't remember his name, but that's because I got the memory of a goldfish. But I'll make sure it's tagged when I put it up there. Yeah, so I will be moving streams to basically, I'm thinking Mondays or Tuesdays and Thursdays. I won't be doing a Friday stream anymore, because one of the things I want to do in the new year is I need to socialise more. Like, I didn't go out for a night out at my local pub once last year. So that's something else I'm trying to do, is trying to get out of the house more. So I'll still be around, I'll still be doing videos, and I'll still be doing live streams, but they'll be done at both ends of the week, not just two at the beginning of the week. And next week, my plan is to paint up these guys on stream. And I can't remember who made. I think it might be Black Scorpion. And they are some fantastic dwarf pirates. He's got a little monkey. He has an angry little monkey. So yeah, I'm gonna paint those up on stream on Monday, because they look kind of cool. There's really something special about like hand sculpted models. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Black Scorpion models, and they did. The guy who runs Black Scorpion, he sculpted a lot of the Bretonian range. I can't for the life of me remember his name. I think it's Mark, but I'm probably wrong there. I've got another one of his models around here somewhere. It's a weird plague doctor with a wing. I'm sure I won't find it now. I'll just end up knocking something over. The only downside, his models are fantastic quality, but they make Games Workshop look cheap. But yeah, they're nice models. I got some like farmyard animals and stuff from him as well, like dogs and cats and stuff. They were quite cool. Right. I think that's going to be me for the evening, guys. Thank you very much for everyone coming along. I always appreciate you people being here. We've got lots of regulars. His names here I recognise. You know, and I always appreciate you guys coming on here. Curtis, you're always welcome here. Corvinus, thanks, mate. I'm sorry you don't make these from time to time. I'll try and put a post up early before I start streaming. I do follow you on Instagram. I do see your posts on there. Dr. No, always a pleasure to see you around here, man. All of you guys, you know, Gajira. It's so weird having, you know, a support base, and it's nice. And those of you guys who've used my Element Games code in the last couple of weeks have been mad. I love you all. I'm still blown away by the one person I think who may have spent close to £700 on Element Games, because I don't see what you've bought or how much you've spent, but I can kind of work it out by the number of points you generate. So congratulations on what I'm assuming is probably your 3D printer. It's the only thing they sell that's that expensive. Did you have any issues with the las cannon arms and posing due to the Mark III backpacks? Nothing that a pair of clippers didn't fix. So yeah, no, I just posed them up and clipped them off because the old Mark IV heavy weapons kit, or Marine in the Mark IV kit, he's missing one of the vents off his. So that's all I did, is I just snipped it off and just went with it. So here you go, Curtis, nice and easy. Retro Pirate Leagues of Votan. Oh, it could be good. I've got a pirate goblin from them as well somewhere, and my plan is to use him on my orcs. I want to get the Gazcon model at some point and turn him into this like giant, like walking tank thing. Which the theory or the fluff for my orc army will be that he's the war boss that everyone follows, but he's not real. He's just, you know, a robot, and it's the grot pirate captain I've got who's the actual one in charge, who's going to be on like a crow's nest on the top. There's the plague doctor from the guys again. This was one they gave away or was selling really cheap because it was like the COVID special edition model, and I thought it looked really interesting. Okay guys, thank you very much for coming along. Really appreciate it. You know where to find me, you know what to do. Hit like, subscribe, share. Even if you're not going to share it, just click the share button. That triggers the analytics to go off anyway. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you all being here. My name is Bando. This has been Backlog with Bando. I'll see you on Monday and we'll go through your work in progresses then.